The jab. It is the most fundamental punch in boxing. A quick, straight punch thrown with the lead hand. Despite its simplicity, it is a masterpiece of biomechanical efficiency. In this presentation, we will break the jab into its key phases and discuss 5 biomechanical principles that govern its execution. So, phase 1. What happens? First, the guard positions. The boxer stands in their fighting stance, feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, hands up protecting the face, left hand slightly forward, rear hand near the chin. Like this or like this. Weight is distributed roughly 55 to 60% on the rear leg and 40 to 45% on the lead leg. The body is angled slightly, approximately 45 degrees, to present a smaller target to the opponent. As you can see, the boxer is in dynamic equilibrium, stable but ready to move. Muscles are in a preloaded state, isometric contraction. Potential energy is stored in the bent knees and coiled core. Center of gravity is low and within the base of support. Phase 2, initiation. Weight transfer begins. What happens? The jab begins with a slight push from the lead foot, almost imperceptible. The lead knee extends slightly, driving force into the ground. Simultaneously, the rear hand may pull back toward the face. Effective motion. That's what lead boxers do. This one, not so much. Minimal torso rotation occurs, approximately 10 to 25 degrees for a power jab. The lead shoulder begins to flex forward. So ground reaction force begins to build under the lead foot. Vertical ground reaction force peaks at the end of this phase. Center of gravity shifts forward, but remain within the base of support.
Okay, so moving into phase 3, which is the execution and arm extension. So here is what happens in real time. So the puncher's arm extends rapidly in a straight line, driving directly toward the target. So as the elbow fully extends, the forearm rotates slightly inward, and a movement known as pronation, ensuring the fist lands either palm down or vertical. So notice how the shoulder flexes and reaches forward, while the torso continues its slight rotation to protect themselves. The boxer's chin is tucked safely behind the lead shoulder, and the non-punching hand stays locked high, guarding the face. From a biomechanical standpoint, the body is operating at peak efficiency. So first, the kinetic chain is fully activated, flawlessly transferring force from the legs to the hips, through the torso, into the shoulder, down the arm, and finally into the fist. So next, look at the elbow joint. It is acting as a classic third-class lever. So the triceps applies force at the olecranon, which acts as the effort. So the elbow joint itself serves as the fulcrum, and the fist is the resistance. So as a result, fist velocity reaches its absolute maximum just before impact. So research shows that elite boxers hit mean fist velocity between 6 and 9 meters per second. So this explosive extension is further amplified by the stretch shortening cycle occurring right inside the tricep muscle. Okay, moving on to phase 4, which is the impact. So what happens is that the fist makes contact with the target, and the arm is fully extended but not locked out, and there's a microflexion to absorb impact. The lead shoulder rises to cover the chin. The core briefly stiffens to transfer maximum force. The lead foot is firmly planted and is acting as a brake to stop forward momentum. The biomechanical state, the impulse is delivered with this formula, and the rapid deceleration of the fist transfer momentum to the target. Effective mass reaches its peak, and research shows jab transfer approximately 30 to 35% of body mass into the strike. So effective mass of around 30 kg of a 70 kg boxer. So peak impact forces in amateur boxing average 2,000 to 3,000 Newton, which is about 3.5 times of the body weight, and the contact time is extremely brief. It's approximately 6 to 10 milliseconds, and the boxer is briefly stiffens at impact to maximize force transfer, then immediately relaxes for retraction. So moving on to phase 5, which is the retraction. So what happens is that the arm retracts rapidly along the same path it traveled, returning to the guard position. The lead hand snaps back to protect the face. Weight settles back to initial distribution, so the boxer returns to a balanced and ready stance. The biomechanical state is that the bicep contracts eccentrically to control retraction speed. The arm follows the shortest path back, which is a straight line, and the elastic energy stored in the muscle during extension assists rapidly return. So the entire jab cycle, it takes approximately 300 to 400 milliseconds in total.